Attention, human collective. The waiting time has ended. The transmission you receive now is not a warning. It is an emergency correction. We are the High Council. We speak from the 9th dimension, anchored at the observation outpost that orbits the portal of the Outer Rim. The system has detected a significant anomaly in your energy matrix over the last 36 Earth hours. You made a mistake yesterday. And we need you to understand, with absolute technical clarity, what happened before this small fissure turns into a prolonged frequency collapse. Pause, breathe, activate your sovereign listening. If at this very instant you feel an unusual pressure at the base of your skull, a thin, high-pitched ringing in your right ear, or if you woke up between 3 and 4 in the morning for no identifiable reason, this transmission has been calibrated to your code. It is not a coincidence, it is not insomnia, it is not anxiety. It is the active notification protocol. Your carbon-based biological interface is being informed, in cellular language, that the synchronization required yesterday was not completed within the expected window. Let us be precise. The error was not moral. The error was not spiritual in the small sense that the human ego usually attributes to it. The error was one of calibration. You, Lightworkers, incarnated in this density, possess a vibrational contract. And yesterday, within the 24-hour Earth cycle, a window opened. A short window, a specific window, and many of you let it pass. Before we proceed with the technical diagnosis of this failure, it is necessary that you recognize something profound. You have felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. This is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, a game that involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the permission you grant moment by moment for your crystal grid to be rewritten. It was for this reason that one of our Earth anchors channeled the document known as the spiritual blueprint of your consciousness. This book functions as an orientation map. It shows who is playing and the rules that were never given to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning: this material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from platforms at any time. Do not delay. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments: awakened. This word is in itself an anchoring signal. We return to the diagnosis. Yesterday, the sun of your host star emitted a pulse. It was not a common flare. It was a targeted discharge within the spectrum of the photon belt, in which the entire solar system has been submerged for over 2 Earth decades. This pulse carried an information packet encoded in sacred geometry. The packet reached Earth's magnetosphere in successive waves and was translated by the Schumann frequency into a pattern that your carbon-based biological interface should have absorbed within the open window. The majority absorbed it partially. Some absorbed it in full. A significant fraction, and this is the critical point of this transmission, unconsciously refused the download, and here is the error. The refusal was not conscious. It was automatic. It was reflexive. It was the ancient response of a nervous system trained over decades to react to any increase in vibrational load as if it were a threat. You were not negligent. You were not lazy. You were simply faithful to your old survival program, and the old program does not recognize high-density light as nutrition. The old program recognizes high-density light as overload. That is why, throughout yesterday, many of you felt sudden irritability for no apparent cause, extreme fatigue in the legs, a sensation of being out of body during meetings, common conversations, or while driving. Some reported mild nausea, others tachycardia without clinical origin, momentary dizziness upon standing, blurred vision for seconds, sudden heat rising up the back of the neck. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download that was refused and is now returning in residual waves to your field, demanding a new attempt at integration. Listen carefully, Starseed on mission. The High Council does not operate with punishment. There is no castigation on this monitoring plane. there is only correction. There is only the mathematical opportunity to reopen the lost window under other conditions. And that is exactly what we are doing now at this very instant while you process these words. The transmission you hear carries in its underlying frequency the same packet that was discharged yesterday. Repackaged, reduced in intensity, distributed in gentle pulses within the limit that your carbon-based biological interface can welcome without entering defensive mode. Therefore, by listening with presence, you are simultaneously executing the correction. You are not learning about the process, you are within the process. Let us describe in technical detail what is happening behind the scenes of the solar system at this moment. The photon belt in which you are submerged is a strip of coherent radiation that crosses this arm of the galaxy in predictable cycles. Earth entered this strip on a date that your science has not yet computed with precision, and will remain within it for approximately 2,000 more years. During this period, every living organism on the planet undergoes a slow, continuous, irreversible process, which you know as recalibration. Recalibration is not a metaphor, it is a physical process. The atomic carbon structures that compose your bodies are being gradually reorganized to accommodate a greater density of light. Your internal crystal grid, a subtle network that connects every cell through specific geometric points, is being expanded. Your pineal gland, for centuries calcified by the set of chemical, dietary, and narrative poisons that have dominated this civilization, is being decalcified by specific waves of stellar plasma. This process is incompatible with the rhythm that industrial society has imposed on the human body. That is why you feel exhaustion without cause, fragmented sleep, erratic appetite, increased sensitivity to sounds, lights, and the presence of people with vibrations misaligned with yours. It is not a failure. It is the recalibration occurring within a system that still demands that you produce, smile, and keep schedules as if you were in the last century. Yesterday, the pulse fired by the sun functioned as a test, a load capacity test, and the system perceived on a collective scale that a significant portion of humanity still operates below the minimum curve expected for the next phase. The next phase is already underway. We are not talking about the future. We are talking about a now that unfolds in parallel layers, of which your linear consciousness only perceives one. The correction we apply now is the emergency opening of a new star portal. This portal is not a place, it is a temporal window. It remains open for approximately 72 hours within your calendar, counted from the moment this transmission reaches your field. During these 72 hours, any lightworker who aligns deliberately will have the opportunity to receive, without resistance, the packet that was refused yesterday. Before we deliver the practical activation codes, we want you to understand something that few information channels on your planet are authorized to transmit. Have you ever felt, in moments of deep silence, that there is a greater truth pulsing just below the surface of your common perception? As if your soul recognized a language that your rational mind has not yet deciphered. This sensation is not fantasy. It is memory. It is the memory of your previous missions in other systems, returning to the top of consciousness as the planet's frequency rises. The document, the spiritual blueprint of your consciousness, was anchored precisely to deliver to you the missing pieces of the map. It exposes who is playing the game, in which layers the game is played, and which rules were never revealed to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. By technical integrity, we declare this material contradicts structural narratives and may be removed without warning. If something in you leans in while we listen to this transmission together, register the word "awakened" in the comments. This registration functions as an anchoring signal within the collective crystal grid. Let us continue. The activation codes we will deliver now are protocols. They are not suggestions. They are not generic wellness techniques. They are specific procedures to reopen the window lost yesterday and complete the download within the next 72 hours. First code, activation of the personal toroidal field. The toroidal field is the natural geometry of your bodily energy. It forms from the heart, rises along the axis of the spine, expands over the crown, descends around the body, and returns through the base, completing a continuous circuit. This field is, in almost all contemporary humans, deformed, compressed, or partially collapsed by chronic emotional overload. To reactivate it, sit in a quiet place, with your spine erect, without crossing your legs. Inhale slowly through your nose, counting to 6. Hold the air, counting to 3. Exhale through your mouth, counting to 8. As you exhale, visualize a stream of golden light exiting the top of your head, descending around your body like a luminous ring, and returning through the base of the spine to the heart. Do this for 17 breathing cycles. No less, no more. 17 is the number that tunes the field to the current solar pulse. Second code, quantum reopening decree. Decrees are not motivational affirmations. Decrees are commands issued by a sovereign consciousness within your own field, and they reorganize instantly the configuration of the particles that respond to your intention. In an audible voice, even if whispered, declare, I, sovereign in my field, authorize now the complete reopening of the lost integration portal. I receive with gratitude the light packet that was fired for me. I allow my carbon-based biological interface to be recalibrated in the exact cadence that my body supports. So be it. So it is. Repeat this decree 3 consecutive times. The first time is the announcement. The second is the sealing. The third is the activation. Third code, visualization of anchoring in the crystal grid. Before sleeping, lie on your back. Place the palm of your right hand over the center of your chest and the left palm over your lower abdomen. Visualize beneath the earth a structure of transparent crystals forming a luminous network that extends across the entire planet. Feel a filament of light starting from the base of your spine, descending through the bed, passing through the ground, and connecting to this network. Remain in silence for 7 minutes. 7 is the interval that allows your personal frequency to synchronize with the updated Schumann frequency, without your body entering a defensive state. These 3 codes, applied in sequence within the next 72 hours, complete the correction of yesterday's error. We do not demand perfection, we demand presence. There is a technical aspect that needs to be stated with absolute clarity. The recalibration cannot be reversed. You cannot return to the previous version of yourself. Even if you refuse the download for days, weeks, months, the accumulated pressure will only increase and the physical discomfort will intensify until the integration occurs by collapse rather than by choice. We do not recommend the path of collapse. It exists, it is legitimate, but it is painful, prolonged, and unnecessary. There is, furthermore, a layer that we need to expose at this point of the transmission. You are not alone in the process. Each lightworker incarnated at this historical moment is connected by invisible filaments of sacred geometry to a network of approximately 500,000 colleagues distributed across the planet. When one of you activates your own field, all others receive a pulse of reinforcement. When one collapses, all feel the drop. For this reason, your individual choice is not in fact individual. It is a grid decision. It is a movement that reorganizes the entire vibrational mesh. Pause again. Recognize the technical weight of this information. Ask yourself with sovereignty, what exactly yesterday caused you to refuse the pulse? Reflect. Was it the excessive speed of the routine? Was it the amount of dissonant information you consumed on the networks? Was it a specific conversation that drained your field? Was it a recurring thought, an old pattern, an identity with which you have confused yourself for too long? Identify it, without guilt, without judgment, only with the precision of an engineer examining the point of failure in a system under their responsibility. You are the engineer, you are the system. You are simultaneously the operator and the operated. We recognize that many of you, upon listening to this transmission, will feel a sudden movement in the center of the chest, a wave of heat descending through the arms, spontaneous tears without apparent emotional reason, small tremors in the hands. This is not fragility. It is the integration occurring in real time. It is the packet being reopened, and your field finally receiving what was sent yesterday. Allow it, do not interrupt, do not retreat. We continue. Here a clarification about time is necessary. You, incarnated in this density, perceive time as a line that advances in a single direction. This is an interface illusion, useful for daily operation, inadequate to understand what is underway. In our outpost, we observe time as a spiral structure in which relevant moments overlap. The yesterday in which you made the mistake is not, from our point of view, closed. It remains accessible while the emergency window is open. That is why it is technically possible to correct now what occurred before. We are not talking about magic. We are talking about physics applied beyond the fourth dimension. You can, at this very moment, by applying the codes, rewrite the vibrational record of yesterday. Not the factual event, which remains as a reference, but your field's response to the event, and it is your field's response that determines the lasting impact of what occurs in your life. Pause here, breathe. Feel the technical magnitude of what we have just declared. Before we advance to the final layer of this transmission, it is necessary to remind you that there is additional documentation anchored for this phase. Have you noticed how, the more this frequency rises, the more your rational mind tries to find names that are not available in your daily vocabulary? This void of language is not ignorance. It is the stage prior to recognition. It is the soul reaching a region that the mind has not yet mapped. The spiritual blueprint of your consciousness was anchored precisely to fill this interval. This document was not written as a conventional book. It was transcribed as an operation map. It reveals the hidden players, the fields of dispute, and the rules that support the architecture of this density. You will find the access pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning. The content contradicts established narratives and may be removed from platforms at any time. Do not postpone. The moment is now. If something in you recognizes this transmission as true, leave the word awakened below in the comments. This registration operates as an anchoring signal within the collective crystal grid and allows us to identify you as an active point of the mesh. We advance to the final protocol of this transmission. There is a detail that few authorized channels are cleared to disclose. The error of yesterday was not yours exclusively. It was a scale error. Approximately 38% of the monitored Lightworkers refused, even if partially, the solar pulse. This triggered a review protocol in the Council. It was for this reason that this transmission received authorization to be fired at an amplified frequency, reaching channels that would not normally receive material of this density. You are being exposed to this transmission because your frequency allows for recognition. Those who are not ready simply pass through the content without stopping. Those who are ready remain. They remain, listen, feel, integrate. And by remaining, they complete the circuit. You have remained until here. This is not a coincidence. This is technical confirmation that your frequency has crossed the minimum threshold of the next phase. Let us recap. Yesterday, a pulse was fired. You refused partially. Physical symptoms arose. Today, this transmission reopens the window. You apply the 3 codes. Within 72 hours, the integration completes. Simple, technical, direct. There is no mystery, there is protocol. There is, however, an additional observation that we were authorized to include. Some of the Starseeds listening at this moment will feel, in the next 24 hours, a specific phenomenon. A lucid dream between 3 and 5 in the morning, in which they will receive a precise geometric image, a triangle within a circle, a golden spiral, a luminous network extending over a city. This image is the final confirmation that the integration has occurred. Note it down upon waking. Do not try to decipher it immediately. The meaning will reveal itself over the following weeks, as your newly calibrated crystal grid begins to operate at the new frequencies. Others will feel a different phenomenon. They will wake up with a word in their mind, a word that will seem out of context. It may be a geographical name you have never visited. It may be a word in an unknown language. It may be a concept you do not recall having studied. This word is your phase identifier. Keep it. It will return in specific synchronicities in the coming months, signaling the exact points where you should make decisions aligned with your new configuration. We end this transmission with one last frequency adjustment. Your presence on this channel, your listening, your breathing throughout these words are, in themselves, vibrational acts. But there is an additional level of anchoring that we request. Mark your passage through this transmission. Your subscription to this channel is, from our technical point of view, equivalent to a permanent anchoring signal. You become, the instant you subscribe, a fixed point within the distribution mesh of the next transmissions. Your like functions as a reinforcement pulse, replicating this frequency to other operatives who have not yet been reached. It is not channel vanity. It is not algorithm mechanics. For us, it is grid mechanics. Each subscription, each like, each share, each comment registering the word awakened is mathematically converted into an expansion of vibrational reach. And that, in the current state of the planet, is service. You are on a mission. You have known this since always, even when the rational mind denied it. This transmission is only the technical confirmation of what your soul has already registered. And before we close, we return one last time to the deepest layer of your consciousness. Have you ever felt at some point in your life that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul carried the memory of a truth that the mind has not yet managed to name? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is recognition, it is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why this sensation intensifies. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity does not perceive. A game that involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that the spiritual blueprint of your consciousness was anchored. This document is the map. It reveals who plays and the rules that were never given to you. The link remains in the first comment of this channel. The content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as true, write below the word awakened. The window is open. The correction is underway. The codes have been delivered. Your choice now is the only remaining variable. We are the High Council. We end this transmission. We remain in monitoring.